got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Shawty climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here and Jack Pinnett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go! Donoso with a crafty maneuver up the inside. Masterclass with the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Borman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
everyone, and welcome to PSGL. It's been a nice week off, and now we're back for some more F2 racing action. My name is Corey, I'm one of your two commentators for this evening. Joined with me in the comms booth, it's Omi.
Hello, Corey. Hello, back to PSGL. We've had a 1 week break, as you mentioned, but it's time for some more exciting racing, and hopefully it's just as exciting as Austria was.
Absolutely correct, but don't let us keep you waiting here in the commentators corner. The drivers are out starting their qualifying session, so we're going to get you straight into this action. So we're currently on board with the huge influx of drivers flooding to the track to set their first banker lap. Everybody is very keen and lurking, ready and waiting today. They all want to get out and get that lap in. They're looking to set the best possible time. It's quite a short lap here in Spain. This is where we're heading into round 4. Barcelona, a beautiful track indeed. 14 turns, 8 to the right and 6 to the left. 2.893 miles long. It's one of the more challenging corners to manage the speed and of course manage the tyres. It can get very warm around here, but currently we're going to see who is first out on the lap. I think it may be the McLaren, as it is. Lukomski is currently out, going to set the first banker lap, so we will get on board with him as he's getting around turn 4 now. Looking to keep that exit a little bit wide, a bit cut to the inside of the racing line, but a bit of a lock up there from the front left as he swings it round into turn 5, which becomes a bit of a double left-hander with turn 6. And fires it around turn 7 there, trying not to take too much apex. That yellow curb is a killer, can send you flying off the track. Looking fairly good as he gets to DRS zone number 2. The rear wing is wide open, completes that second sector. It's looking like a decent banker, if I say so myself. The McLaren looking fairly strong here, but it is only the first lap. There's still quite a lot of time for these drivers to set that first initial lap and that banker lap, as the McLaren of Lukomski now comes around 13 and around 14. Gets the rear wing open for that final time to get that bit of extra speed down towards the line. It's at 11 flat. Next across the line is Camille in the Ferrari, an 11.033, and then Andre with a 193, Nelson a 125. So all the drivers fairly close within these first banker laps. Couple are just balancing between that 11 flat though.
Yep, indeed, as Jan Halliday now goes to the front of the field, a 1 minute 10.8 for the Aston Martin driver. So a good banker lap for him. But of course, a good banker lap is critical for improvements later on in the session. So that's what these drivers are going to be aiming for. So a good lap from Halliday as they all now start to carve. And Tycho Hardy still in the pit lane, a driver who has been brilliant so far this season. He's been in the top. He's been in the top 5 in every single session so far, and he'll continue that in qualifying once again.
Seems to be having a bit of a cutout for your microphone there, mate. I don't know if that's on my end or your end, but you're in and out with the audio there. Can only hope to try and get you a bit better. But we're currently on board with Labella in the Mercedes, who's coming around to finish second sector. It's a slow lap. The light's flashing, so it could potentially not be the lap. Going to the pits maybe had an issue with his out lap. But everybody's been out straight away setting the banker laps. We're currently on board with Riccardo Benzoni, a driver that's known to be quick, especially in qualifying and in the race itself. Did win in Silverstone race 1. Riccardo Benzoni did take victory in round 1. In 3 races, you've had 3 different race winners, with Tycho Hardy just scoring enough points to take P1 in the driver's standings. So currently, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, wide open season here in PSGL, as we would usually expect as well. So lovely to see it being wide open. Hopefully we'll make it 4 out of 4 winners by the end of today's action here at Spain, as we all come into the pit lane. Not the case though for Tycho Hardy. He's about to go on, but he is on the circuit right now, as he is out of sync with all of the other drivers. But a 0.8 is a very good banker lap. The only man inside the one would have noticed by now, we've got the F1 2024 official cars out there on the circuit. So we've managed to make the switch from the F1 World cars back to the normal colors that we would expect here at PSGL. So great to see them, but should be a lot more easier when identifying different drivers.
Absolutely will be. Now we can see them in their respective team colours, easier to identify, especially as we go into the qualifying session. But you can also now root for your favourite driver. You don't need to try and memorise the livery that they designed. You can now root for them by the team that you know them by. So we've got currently on board with Tycho Hardy as he got himself up into turn 3 now. The fast right-hander, you need to be careful getting the power down there too quick on the acceleration. You light up those rears and send it flying through. Purple sector 1 for the Kicksover, looking to potentially steal a pole position. He is leading the Drivers' Championship at the meantime, just scoring enough points. He hasn't taken a victory yet, but could Spain be the track where he takes victory? Could this be the round where he takes victory? Has stood on the podium twice in 3 races.
Definitely has. So he'll be a driver to keep an eye on, of course. And he's been consistent, even though he hasn't won, he has been consistent, and that's what is keeping him at the top of the standings for now. Lock by the end of today. Let's see what the first lap is looking like for Tycho Hardy he's about to come over the line now.
He's about to cross the line. It is a 10.9. So it is a beautiful banker lap. First lap out there gets him P2, and ahead of those 11 runners has already broke the 10.9. But he's still a 10th away from what could potentially be a pole position. Is he going to send him for another lap, or will he box for some fresh rubber, get them nice fresh boots on the car and just wait it out, as there's now quite a lot of traffic fluxing the track once again.
Lots of traffic as Hardy ends his first lap. The others coming out for their second push lap as well. So a good lap for Tycho Hardy. Everyone will get the right to reply at this moment as well, as they're all about to go pushing around this circuit. Of course, once again, no chicane here at Barcelona. We had that last time out as well, but always does improve racing as we are getting the drivers now coming over the line. Improvement from Lukumski as he goes to second position, and that was a slight improvement, but a slight improvement can gain you quite a few places if you do get the lap in at the right moment, because the margins are very close, so even a little improvement could get you massively up the order.
Could absolutely, with the times being so tight, it's all about the fine margins, and in a track like Barcelona, Catalunya circuit is one of those tracks where you need to maximise your momentum. Very fast, twisty corners. It's a fast-flowing track, so you need to be on the ball and make sure you carry your speed through, but not too much as you take too many track limits. You need to maximise all the track that you can without running it too wide and invalidating the lap. As well as in the race, you'll pick up that 3-second penalty, which can damage your race in dramatic ways with the field being this close. Everybody from P1 down to P13 is just within 2/10 away from pole position.
Indeed, it's always very, very close. So it means that with slight margins, you could find yourself massively down the order. As you mentioned in the race, and around, he did find himself going from 1st to 10th. Last time out in the final race classification was Brad Holdham. Absolutely unbelievable stuff on the last lap at Austria to get the first position right at the last few corners on the last lap. Absolutely incredible stuff, but he wasn't rewarded with it due to going over the white line earlier on in the race. It means that he was given a 5-second penalty, and that meant that he went from 1st all the way down to 10th, and that's how much time and that's how many places he lost, because everyone was in a train on that last lap, and it's always, and especially around Austria, it's always so close, and I'm sure it'll be the same here at Spain. But yeah, that cost Brad Holdham massively, and it meant that a victory was taken away from him. Kind of basically like George Russell. Did a very good job in the race, but wasn't rewarded with it in the end.
Speaking of Brad Oldham, he is out on an outlap looking to now get away from all that traffic. There's 8 minutes remaining in qualifying. Riccardo Benzoni in the Haas is now starting another flying lap. He's crossed the line. He's finishing turn 2 now, getting around turn 3. Looking to keep it nice and tight to the inside line and then run it wide to make sure you can get the optimum angle to fire him around turn 4. Another corner that's really long and wide. You need to make sure you maintain the racing line, but at the same time, you're trying to get the power down. You're trying to gain all the momentum and push the car to beyond its limits to get this extra speed and extra time out of your lap. Another technical part of the track there as he fires it around 7 and 8. Taking too much of that yellow curb will just really unsettle the car and get you spinning out of control. That rear wing has just closed now as he fires it around turn 10. The double left-hander, 10, 11. Coming around now, swinging it back round to the right-hand side of turn 12. No chicane here, like Omi says, as we've been known what it to be. They've changed the track, and some people like it, some people don't. I quite like it. You can flat to the floor out of 14 and crosses the line to go 10 quicker, and it is P2 for Riccardo Benzoni in the Haas. A 1:10.898. Margins, fine margins.
Yeah. Fine margins indeed, but still behind. That's how good the banker lap was from Jan Halle. We've seen many drivers respond and move. No one has been able to move themselves ahead of Jan Halle. They're going to get a chance for him to improve his at the front of the field. So it seems like he's done a lot of practice for this circuit, and it's showing right now as well. It seems like he's very good at this circuit, and he already, with the banker lap, has got an advantage that has kept most drivers behind. Completed the second one. Let's see how much Jan had advantage. It's currently a 1 minute 10.860. Let's see how much far can he go.
We're currently on board with Andrea Molnar in the kick Sauber. He was up on his time. He get a personal best coming out of sector 1 as he's coming round to get to the second DRS zone. Gets that rear wing wide open as he's trying to maintain and maximise all that speed into turn 10. He is up by a 10th. So with the fine margins, it could potentially put him ahead of Riccardo Benzoni if you can stick it through turn 12 and 13. Again, no chicane, but you need to really maximise the exit speed and get your foot flat to the floor for turn 14 and fire it in around the right hand. He comes across the line. It is P2, jumps ahead by 0.03 of a second. Kicks Albert, really getting himself up there, but again down to the fine margins. He's 1,000th away from pole position. Tried to respond, but just didn't get it.
Absolutely, that is between them. Jan Halliday down in the first sector by 42 thousandths of a second. He'll be hoping to improve that in the second and third sector and increase his advantage, because while it was a very good banker lap, with the improvements we've just seen from all of the other drivers, surely at some point someone's going to find there's extra thousands and move ahead of him. So he will definitely need to respond, and I'm sure with the pace he's got, he definitely will try and do so, like he's doing now as well. Both Ferraris were able to improve themselves up the order much more higher, but much more higher now compared to where they were earlier on. Keon was able to go to P5, then Kemal Sartre in 6th. Taika Hardy currently finds himself down in 7th. Daniel in 8th, then Lukumski and Brad Holden, both drivers in the pit lane, and they complete out the top 10. Let's see with Jan Halliday. No, so he's coming into the pit lane, so he knows that there wasn't any improvement on that lap, so he's not going to waste time. He's going to come in and he's going to change his tires and get ready for one last lap in this qualifying session with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
I was trying to get us on board with the Mercedes of Valentino Labella, who did jump up on his time, went from 14th to 10th, so jumps ahead of his teammate, the Mercedes Brad Holdham, who's currently sat in the pits and waiting now for the optimum time as the track evolution occurs on the track. Everybody going out, heating up that track, laying down that surface of rubber, making it just perfect conditions in the final closing minutes of qualifying to get the optimum line, to get the optimum grip and maximise this lap. Who do you think will be on pole position? It's looking like Jan. He's got it. But Andre being at 1,000ths away is the closest to responding anyway. Could he potentially come out within the final few minutes and get that position? Take pole here in Spain?
Definitely could. And also in the live chat, of course, you guys can let us know in the poll as well on what you guys will think and whether he will be able to do it. So making our way now, we're seeing a lot of cars come into the pit lane. We've got Julian Klaffenbach heading out onto the circuit as well. He, of course, qualified in 5th at Miami in round 2. Now we're in round 4, and he'll be hoping to get higher than P15, which is where he's at right now. So he's going to have a track that right now is to himself. Other cons soon, but will be interesting to see what the Haas driver can do from 15th as he's now about to begin a lap.
Absolutely, the Haas driver now sending it down the main straight, the pitch straight into turn 1. Bit of a lock up there on the right hand side, but manages to control it well. Doesn't run it wide on the exit of turn 2. Swings it back round into turn 3. Such a fast part of sector 1, which will then eventually bring you to the end of your first sector. He's only half a tenth up on his time as he finishes sector 1. Fires it around turn 4 and still trying to push to the absolute limit. Needs to get up on this time, but he is within the fine margins. Like I said, P15 to P1, it's just 2 tenths away. So if you can improve every bit of time, it counts. Every thousandth, every hundredth, every tenth matters. Finishing that DRS there. He's still only half a tenth up on his time. It won't put him too high up in the order. Maybe jump up into P14, potentially P13 if you can hold it out around turn 12. Finishing third sector as he comes around 13 now. I love this part of the track. You're flat to the floor. Fire it round to the right of turn 14 and get that rear wing open once again. Get that advantage to the line. It's only good enough for P14. Still only half a tenth for the Haas driver.
Yep, absolutely. Identical times to Liam Stevens. Has he gone? Had he gone 1,000 quicker, he would have managed to get up to. It would have been 12. So that's how close it is, and you definitely need improvement. Everyone is heading out onto the circuit, and with just over a minute to go, everyone will need to find that late improvement. That could leave them creasing down the order, and it means it will be a much more worse grid position 4. It can all change around in the race, but sometimes when you get stuck in DRS, it's hard to make your way through. So getting a good result in qualifying is going to be critical, especially if you are going to contend at the front of the field. The final runs are now.
Absolutely correct. It's now only 40 seconds until that checker flag comes out as everybody's now looking to set their final laps. We've been on board with the kick salver of Andre as he's coming around turn 14 now. Is it the improvement he needed to get pole position, or is he only just going to start it now? It is pole position by half a tenth. Just jumps ahead. The margins are very, very fine indeed. Jan is out on a lap as he's trying to retaliate to that time. He will come down into turn 14 now. He did look up on his time in sector 3. Will he cross the line and potentially take it back? He does take it back. It's a 10.786. 200ths of a second between Andre and Jan for pole position. Tycho Hardy crossing the line there for P3. Camille Statura out of nowhere in the Ferrari snatching pole there with a 10.8784. 2 thousandths of a second separating the front two. Can anybody else respond to that? Riccardo Benzoni coming to cross the line doesn't respond to that.
He's in 5th. Let's see if anyone is going to be able to find anything right at the end to deny Camille Stoucher. And we have Joris who is down as well. Seems like most of the drivers are down unless we are getting a very late lap from someone. And is going to be the grid order. Camille Stoucher out of nowhere. Get right at.
Absolutely, just dragged it out of nowhere, managed to snatch that pole position away in the Ferrari and put himself on the top step. It's where you want to be, especially in Spain. You want to be starting out at the front and try and get ahead as best you can, get ahead of that field as best you can.
Indeed. Lovely to see in the live chat in the poll that we're getting a lot of votes coming in saying no all of a sudden. As well, the session now ending, and we've got our answer. Camel Stoucher is on pole, beating Yaliday, who had control of this session. But right at the end, by thousandths, it is in the Ferrari who takes it right at the end. Phenomenal stuff. He'll start at the front of whether he will be able to hold it down to turn 1. That is another question, because it can be a bit of a run down to that fast corner. Lots of slipstream in the braking zones. So we can see quite a few changes. So let's see in the race soon whether he will be able to hold it.
Absolutely correct. Does Camille Statura have the race pace to maintain it? Especially with Halliday being so close behind, only 2 thousandths behind. It's very fine margins that make up the pole position here within PSGL F2. It's lovely to see how close things are. They're still only within 2 tenths from P1 all the way down to P15. for 15, so 14 drivers, 2/10 away. It's going to be a massive DRS train. Everybody all the way down the order is only within 4/10. So quite a fine margins here in Spain. Everybody pushing to the absolute limits, just trying to gain every scrap of time that they could pull back.
Yep, phenomenal stuff there as well. So hopefully we're going to see everyone close. We're probably going to see a bit of a DRS train, but hopefully we'll be seeing and in that DRS train as well.
Absolutely correct. I will bring those as we await now for the collisions to be turned back on. Everybody needs to retire. We have this little bit of a restarted lobby and we get the collisions back on, trying to make everything fair in qualifying. You know, the slipstream is mighty powerful with the 24 cars, so you want to try and avoid all that advantage and give everybody that fair game. That's why the times are so close, everybody just within 4/10 of each other. It's lovely to see within qualifying.
Yep, indeed. Lovely to see as well that we are able to find a solution for the slipstreaming that we do get in qualifying. So it means that qualifying is fair, and we still, of course, get the race as normal coming our way. So, um, Nathan Richards saying Leoland is currently happy with P13 in the live chat. Do let us know in the live chat as well what you guys think is going to happen in this race. Let us know all of your predictions.
Absolutely correct. I want to see your predictions. What do you think could happen out here in this F2 race? I'm suspecting, I don't know. It's hard to say because it was so close between Andre as well. The Kick Sauber really getting himself into the mix there, really pushing on to what could have been potential good points, a good pole position, which could potentially lead to a race win, get himself some nice, decent points and get himself up the order. But on that note, we can take a quick look at review at last race, and you said it was quite interesting at Austria, so we pull up your race results there. As you see, everybody in their respective teams. Rishan Jacobs taking victory, Lumoski taking P2, Tycho Hardy on the podium spot in P3. So you want to give us a rundown of that, or me? How did that go? You was watching that race. Any interesting moments?
Well, lots of interesting moments, especially that last lap. If you haven't seen that last lap, make sure you go and take a look at it. Phenomenal stuff where Brad Holdham, who, yes, he did finish all the way in 10th in the results that you guys are currently seeing. He finished first on the road, got a penalty due to crossing the pit lane line. So if he didn't have that, then he would have won that race. And it was a move right at the end, came out of absolutely nowhere. We had a few contenders at the front of the field, all dueling it out, but out of nowhere came Brad Holdham, taking it at the last corner of the last lap, taking that win. It was a phenomenal race from start to finish. We were always waiting for that last lap to come, and that last lap
Cool.
from going down to turn number 3 and then all the way till the last corner. So absolutely love that race. Best race of the season. Let's see if Spain can beat it, but it's definitely going to take some beating if it is going to do so.
Well, it is early days in the seasons. Yeah, there's still a lot more races to come, a lot more spicy action to see. So we'll move on and take a quick look at the standings. As I've mentioned, Tycho Hardy holding out in P1 in the driver's standings, just gaining enough points to manage to get himself ahead. He sat on the podium twice out of the 3 races held. He's had a P3 in Silverstone, a P2 in Miami, and then got P5. So still scoring some good points in Austria. But Julian Klaffenbach just lurking behind, only 8 points separating the two. And then Leo Lund in P3, so your top 3 sitters on the driver's standings, just minor points separating the two, just a very few minor points. Riccardo Benzoni lurking behind, one of the drivers that does show immense pace, does show some decent pace in races and in qualifying sessions, just 18 points there. He does have the potential to catch. It's still early days in the championship, only being round 4. Rishan Jacobs winning out in Austria last race, got a beautiful points to put him up just behind Riccardo Benzoni there. Liam Stevens in P6, Lumoski in P7, and Tony Ritchie in P8. Gordon Dorp, sorry I'm butchering your names, my first time saying them, in P9. Halliday in P10. Brad Holdham 11th, Harvey Cowan 12th. Camille Stachura, your pole sitter, the man who just clawed it out of nowhere and got himself straight up into P1 pole position here in Spain. Sat there in 13th, just in front of his teammate Daniel. Felipe Sousa in 16th. Daniel Parode in 16th, Nelson Alves, top air, Gregory Andre Molnar in last position. But the Kicks Albert has shown some mighty pace here in Spain, so if he can keep that on the track, could potentially get himself up into a winning position when they're back on the camera screens. What do you think is going to happen in the season, Omer? Any potential predictions for champion as what you've seen so far?
A championship prediction would definitely be hard, but I'm going to say that we're going to get a very good decider in the last race. There'll be lots of drivers in contention. So, yeah, very excited. Cannot wait for that season final to come. But we've got a lot of races still to do till we get to that. So, Camel Sartre earning the 1 point for pole that you do get here in PSGL, of course, in addition this season. And it means that if you do have some good qualifying pace and always put it on pole, you do get rewarded. But putting on pole in every single race is definitely going to be something that we don't see often as well, with how close the margins is, as you've seen so far across all 4 qualifying sessions we have done. And let's see what's going to happen in the 33 lap races. We're just getting the lobby set up and getting the grid all sorted, and then we'll be able to bring you the action from Barcelona.
Absolutely. So while we just wait on with that, I'm going to quickly switch us over so we can take a quick word from one of our sponsors. And we are back to the camera screens. The lobby is still just being set. Everybody is here, and I'm guessing they set the order for the qualifying session, making sure that everybody is in the correct positions. It was a very close qualifying indeed, but we need to get that collisions turned back on to make that race just that little bit more like realistic. You know, we turned it off, found that fix for the qualifying to give everybody an even advantage. We don't want nobody to be advantaged here. We want it to be fair game. That's why the qualifying was again so close. Everybody just within 4 tenths. The slipstream would have made it huge if people could advantage from that tour, but they didn't manage to, and we still got it down to the fine margins, the finest of margins, within a few thousandths of some drivers. So the qualifying session really got spicy towards the end.
Towards the end, let's see how it's going to play out from the evidence to qualify of a DRS train. First stint at least, but the question is, where are the drivers to find their way through? Our moments are in a huge opportunity to overtake. But sometimes you are in a DRS train. Turn one might not be the best opportunity. It's sometimes into big braking zones as well. Everyone does manage to get a little bit of a gap into the first corner, but somewhere where we usually wouldn't see it, maybe like turn number 4, we could be seeing some late dive bombs drivers catching. So that is get moves where we usually wouldn't see it. So if you are to make your way through, you're definitely going to pull some of those moves off. But if you're Camel Statue, you'll be hoping to pull absolutely no moves off. You'll be hoping to dominate from the front of the field. And will he be able to do it? We're going to find out very, very shortly, as we are about to get racing here in Spain.
Absolutely correct. The drivers are now set and ready to get themselves going in Barcelona, get themselves onto the track. The grid has been set, so now we just need to wait for the drivers to get into the lobby, turn on the setups that they did choose to use, or did they qualify on different setups. That restarted lobby does give them an advantage to switch things up a little bit in their race setups, but we can only wait to see what is yet to come as the lobby gets underway.
What is going to happen in this race strategy testing? If we have got a little bit of a mix as well, as we currently look down all the way to the pit lane, and then soon we'll be looking to those 5 red lights once the drivers have sorted out their fuel, their tires, and of course their setups, as you mentioned, and then we'll be getting racing and going here in Spain. and down to turn one. All very exciting. So who's going to come out on top? We'll be starting dry at least. And then we'll work out whether we're going to stay dry for the remainder of the race. But at least a dry start is definitely confirmed. And so saying a fire race. So no weather to play a part, but definitely lots to do in other aspects are going to do so.
Of course, it's looking a bit cloudy there, but it is looking mighty dry. I don't know, I can't really see the sky, but I'm seeing a bit of a dark sky, no blue sky on my screen, but we can only hope that the weather is nice and dry and nice and warm so these drivers can send it to the end. I wonder what the optimum strategy it may be here, whether they opt for medium hards or hard medium. The hard mediums could be the optimum choice depending on how the track evolution evolves throughout the racing session. Of course, you don't want to see the infamous safety cars. You want to try and stay ahead and have the safe, clean racing everybody hopes for. But now we wait for the drivers to get to the grid after sorting out their fuels, their tyres. As we do, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. The lights are all lit. And away we go. It looks like it's a good getaway from the Ferrari, Camille, but Jan was not left out kipping there. Everybody's got off the line fairly decent as Camille Stachura moves over to try and defend against the Aston Martin. The two kicks Albers almost going side by side. Could open the door for Andre. Andre does get through. Slight contact there with the Aston Martin, but he is pushing ahead, still side by side. Loses the position, just drops out of it. Takes the wider line. The Aston Martin, Jan getting the optimum line coming out of the turn 3 there as we push on to turn 4. This is perfect for Camille. All this battling behind him, just going to let him gap and pull away. He's almost broke a second. It's 9/10 ahead, almost a second. There's the 1 second and broke it. He's now leading by a second. Broke that DRS while the battle ensues behind him.
Indeed, Jan Halliday's half move on Camille Stachura to try to take the lead at turn number 1 did not pay off. It left him vulnerable and pinched to the inside, gave a lot of momentum to the two kick Sabers to go on the attack. Jan Halliday on the hard competent tires, which might be one of the reasons why he is fading down the order. But he's gone all the way down to 5th as we continue the battling in the mid-pack, and that is going to be Rishan Jacobs getting through, and he's not the only one. Liam Stevens, both wee carbs moving through. Rishan Jacobs goes up a place, so does Liam Stevens. Ricardo Benzoni down 2. He's also on the hard compound of tires along with Nelson Alves, Brad Holden, Harvey Cohen, and Gregory at the back as well. As we mentioned, of course, Jan Halliday also on those hard compound tires. So a bit of a split here, so they will be trying to go longer in this race as we do battle now down towards the first corner.
Of course, there's mighty battling going down. Tyre smoke left, right and centre. Drivers locking up, trying to gain that optimum line. It looks like Rishan Jacobs in the V-carb, your race winner from Austria 2 weeks ago. He's looking to maintain a push and get himself up into potential points position. Could stir up the championship order if he can get himself into a higher points finishing position. P7's not bad, but you need to get higher than that and get those points in, mate.
Kian trying to find a way by as well, and he'll do so on the outside line with the better grip. So we've got mediums and hards, no softs as well right now out there on the circuit as we currently continue to go attacking. Crucially, Andrea Molnar has been able to stay inside the 1 second, so he will get the DRS, and that will mean that he won't be under too much pressure from his teammate. But he's had to use a lot of ERS to stay inside the 1 second, so he'll now try and harvest some of that back.
Rishan Jacobs just pulled off a beautiful move in his V-carb, getting past Halliday. He's nicely done around the outside, managing to maintain it through the final few corners. He's now ahead of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin's had a stinker off the line. He's really struggling. He's completely fell down the order. He was looking mighty strong in qualifying. We're 3 wide there at the back there for P10. Almost 3 wide going into turn 1. Coming on the exit of turn 2. It looks like Julian is the one who's going to maintain the lead. Lamonsky, he's just fighting away, trying to defend that position against the Haas driver Ricardo Benzoni. Ricardo Benzoni all over that rear diffuser with the Mercedes. Valentino Labella lurking behind, looking for that open door, swinging it to the outside, making him large in Ricardo's mirrors. Could keep the pressure on, pushing Ricardo to keep pushing that McLaren.
Yep, interesting stuff as well. So it was the two Hasses going dueling with Lukumski down to that first corner, and they all managed to get through. Ricardo Benzoni, not with the best exit, is going to give an opportunity to Labella. Is Labella feeling brave on the brakes? Doesn't seem like into the braking zone, so Labella will stick behind and try and make the move down towards the first corner. But an interesting lap of racing the moment at turn number 1, as we all now make our way all the way to the end of the lap. We go on to lap number 4, and Andrew Molnar definitely in play right now in second position, gaining with every meter, but sticking behind and starting to harvest some of the ERS that he lost, trying to maintain that 1 second gap.
Oh, there's a battle there, Riccardo Benzoni, Valentino Labella. Labella looking to try and get past Benzoni, the side-by-side going through turn 1, 2, and coming on the exit 3. That fighting has opened the door for Daniel Kelston, who's just going to send it through and try and maintain it. He goes around the outside, tried to stick it on Valentino Labella. It will be 2 moves in half a lap if he can make it stick. He just doesn't, falls behind the Mercedes driver. He was really trying to battle on, but all this fighting has opened the door for Top Air to try and push on now and gain positions. He's ahead of Riccardo Benzoni. Riccardo Benzoni has dropped positions after trying to push on and gain more positions. Fighting away in the back of the order, just scraping for those minor few points. Lovely racing.
Yep, lovely racing indeed. Phenomenal. And it's not over yet, as we've got Leo Lund fighting away through Riccardo Benzoni, who has dropped down the order. Benzoni, just a lap ago, was going 3 wide with Lukumski and Klaffenbach. They are in 9th and 10th. Benzoni finds himself all the way in 15th. But yes, 3 wide, once again, down towards turn number 1. Moment of brinkmanship down there as we get a first change off the lead. And it's going to be Andrew Molnar is going through.
Oh, I see Carbon flying.
One of the kick sabers are
One of the kick salvers has had an issue, has got himself wing damage. Tycho Hardy has the front right wing damage. Isn't going to do well now. You need the downforce, especially in a track like this. But he's doing well to hold him off for his teammate, keeping himself there, keeping the pressure on the Ferrari driver, Camille Stachura. Andrea Molnar, he was quick in qualifying, he's now jumping ahead, taking control of the race. It's lap 5 and he jumps ahead. All this fighting with his teammate has made him get away by 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths. He's really pushing hard to try and break that DRS. If he can break the DRS, he'll put Camille in the Ferrari under tremendous pressure, Making 2 wide goes Joris Krozen. Really trying to put the pressure on now against Tycho Hardy. Tycho Hardy does have wing damage. Can't defend, can't get the optimum line. The understeer burning away at his tyres. Doesn't box, stays out, trying to maintain and manage that damage.
Oh my word, easy stuff. Down to turn number 1, and it all continues. Camel Stachura being passed left, being passed right. The recarbs both find a way. Also trying to get through, and then Klaffenbach will get the inside, and he will get the position, not the only one. And being absolutely mugged at this stage is Camel Stachura. Halliday is going to be able to get, but some phenomenal battling, but a lot of contact last time around, as they were all dueling, and they continue dueling as Camel Stachura trying to come back. That is close to contact and immediately into the wall and out of the race for Camel Stachura, making contact with Jan Halliday.
Oh no, Camille, your pole sitter, looking who could potentially get victory in the race, has had contact, and there is a full course safety car. All the drivers have to slow down and maintain to a delta. So unfortunate for the Ferrari. He's just caught himself in a bit of an incident, bit of rough and tough. Could be sent to the steward's office, as we say. He was made contact with another driver and sent packing into the wall. He's out of this race. Pole sitter looking good for race victory has sent it, and he's gone.
That is disappointment. As I mentioned, contact made with Jan Halliday. They were both battling very hard with each other, banging wheels, and this is going to allow a huge opportunity for pit stops to come our way. So Kick Sauber are going to double stack. They'll lose a lot of time. So will the 2 V-carbs as well, of Richard Jacobs and Liam Stevens. So they're both in together in 4th and 5th.
Tycho Hardy risking that double stop. He does have wing damage, so he will potentially get that wing changed. He doesn't mind the double stack. He's going to potentially come out on hard. He is going to go on hard tyres. So the pit stop strategy now has changed. Those drivers that have started on hards already, switching it now to the medium tyres, will be double boxing, I guess. 2 stop on mediums from here on out, unless you can maintain those mediums to the end. It's quite the margin to go 21 laps on those tyres. So it's longer than that. It's 26 laps on those tyres. Quite the margin to go, but hopefully they can maintain it and get it done. But we are under safety car conditions, so everybody will be generating the tyre temperatures now, trying to get those temperatures up to the working condition.
Indeed. So that's going to be definitely very interesting to see on this restart. So we're expecting Molnar to at least move forward right now at this later on in the race. Expecting another pit stop. Should be making another pit stop later on lap 7 out of 33, and we're all in a queue getting ready to go racing once again next time around, hopefully. But yeah, disappointment. Starter finding himself out of the race, had a lot of potential, had a lot of pace, but the last few laps before the crash weren't very good, dropping down the order massively, being mugged left, and that's unfortunate. So Liam Stevens, of course, due to a double stack down at Recon, has lost a few places. He finds himself going to 10th from 6th, but he'll definitely be in contention. Going round once again would have been costly, and Andrea Molnar is going to pit once again. So of course he pit for one of the set of the mediums. He had to make another pit stop, and he's going to get that out of the way. So he's going to use 2 tire compounds. He's going to get that out of the way. Under this safety car, he'll find himself dropping down, but he'll find himself back in contention for this one.
I think he's just trying to serve that 10-second penalty. He got a speeding in the pit lane, I believe, so he was sat there serving those 10 seconds to get himself back into contention in the race. But he has dropped all the way down into 18th position as Jan Halliday has also pitted, but Jan gets out quicker as he doesn't have the penalty to serve. So Andre sitting there in P19 at the back of the field. Safety car restart. He could potentially be in the safest position. Could avoid all the collisions yet to come, all the little battles, people trying to get that optimum line and gain all the positions they can and benefit from the safety car restart, trying to catch drivers sleeping on that restart. But now you see them weaving away, trying to generate all the temperature that they can. Temperature, heat is king in Formula 1. Those tyres need to be nice and toasty to get them burning away and activate that tyre compound.
Very critical indeed to get the tyres warmed up and all set and ready for the restart coming way, and it's going to be once again a long run to that first corner. So Harvey Cohen will be under pressure with the 7-lap hard compound of tyres he's got versus the new rubber, and who will be going first. So we're about to go racing once again here at Barcelona, and nearly losing the car as Harvey Cohen tries to get the heat we're telling you about, but nearly losing the car in doing so.
Absolutely, just lighting up those rears, trying to get those rears nice and sticky, activating that tyre compound. Needs to warm them up. He's still weaving left, right, trying to generate as much temperature as he can into those tyres before he tries to get the drop on his opponent. Joris in the Alpine lurking behind, Kian Gordendorp just sat there in the Williams for P3. Well, Rishan Jacobs, the winner of Austria, but the Red Bull has gone now, and we shall head powering down in towards the line. The Alpine was not caught napping, only 3 tenths separate between Joris and Kian. The Rishan Jacobs dropping it down into 2 tenths. They have the slipstream, so they will be gaining. The only person who will not benefit from slipstream is Harvey Cohen. The Red Bull now needs to try and maintain a lead, try and push on harder and faster, but Rishan Jacobs lurking behind, trying to push on and try and get himself right in the rear view mirror. Julian Klaffenbach also potentially getting close enough to get himself into a potential position of racing, but Liam Stevens there had a little look. Just backed out of it. The V-carbs are getting mighty spicy out here in Barcelona.
Yep, they have been all race, and they're continuing to do so as well. So are we going to be seeing Rishan Jacobs find a way through on Kian? Will he be able to move down to the braking zone once again? All of them in a line, all of them close, but no one risking their front wing at this stage of damaging their front. So they're all keeping it clean right now as we're about to make our way over the line, and there's going to be a huge opportunity. Being held up right now is Joris, and it's keeping everyone else in a close train behind. Turn 1 is about to get very interesting.
So the safety car is not still out on track. We are green flags. We are racing here in Formula 2 in F2 for PSGL, but what's going on is it happens quite a lot. I've seen it before. When the safety car comes out, the graphic sort of bugs and stays on the screen and doesn't disappear until there's yellow flags. I have seen this before, but we see a battle there for the front runners. Julian and Rishan fighting it out there for P4. Julian trying to make a move, trying to get that inside line, making it side by side. He's still keeping the pressure on the V-cab. Oh, had a bit of a wobble there as he slams on the brakes for turn 5. Trying to power down now into turn 6. Can he get ahead? They're still side by side. On the timing screens, it says he's ahead. They're still side by side going into turn 7 and turn 8. Doing very well not to make contact with each other. Rishan Jacobs defending it as best as he can, but if ultimately loses out to the Haas driver. Julian Klaffenbach has got through into P4 and he's now looking to go down the inside line. There's an open door from Kian Gordendorp.
Some incredible battling all the way through, and yes, it seems like it is a bug with the safety car still being out there with the graphic, but of course we don't have a safety car out there on the circuit. We have incredible battling though, and following the tow down towards turn number 1, and Joris is making his way through into the lead, and also being followed through is Kian Godendorf, who's also moving up as we continue the incredible battling behind, with Rishan Jacobs just about ahead of Lukumski, who's having to look in his mirrors. It's look right now ahead and behind, because drivers are having to defend and attack all at the same time.
Absolutely, there's been position changes left, right and centre here now as we get into lap 11 after the safety cars go. Oh, a bit of a wobble there from Lukomski in the McLaren. He's now opened the door for Daniel to try and push his Ferrari through and try and get the position taken from him, but he does back out of it. He's smart about it though as he gets into turn 7. Doesn't want to risk his race, but we were 3 wide there coming through turn 7 and around turn 8. It was the V-cab who was 3 wide there. That was incredible stuff.
Absolutely incredible stuff, and it's all continuing once again as Nelson Niles finds himself in a battle with Liam Stevens, trying to find a way to Rishan Jacobs, making his way through on Harvey Cohen, not attempting to do so. At least when it turns into a traction race, it is going to be won by the sister team compared to the Red Bull. Out of the final corner we go once again, and surely some more changes coming, as we're going to see Kian Godendorf putting the pressure and making an easy pass for the race lead down towards turn number 1. I don't think it'll be easy further back. Lukumski is trying to find a way through as well on Harvey Cohen. At the same time, Harvey Cohen trying to attack, and Harvey Cohen playing a massive factor in this one and trying to go all the way around the outside. Lukumski trying to get his foot flat to the floor on the outside and on the inside, but not being given enough room to find a way through. So he still finds himself down in 6th position, and Brad Holdham also gets past Liam Stevens further back.
Absolutely fantastic racing here out on lap 12. It's all going down. People really trying to push those fresh tyres to the absolute limit, gain all the positions they can. Can they expect to go the distance on these hard compound tyres? That is the question. As we see Kian Gordendorp leading the pack now. 4/10 separate, doesn't benefit from the DRS. Could open the door for Joyce to gain now and get up nice and close. But Julian, the Haas driver, has made some spicy, obviously, some very interesting, brave, risky overtakes during this race, and has got himself up onto the podium step in P3. Could he gain more positions? But Rishan Jacobs is right on his tail, hot on his diffuser, looking to potentially take that position away from him. The front 4 battling away for victory before they bridge a 7/10 gap to Lukomski, who's in P5. Harvey Cohen, another driver who was recently leading the race, has dropped himself down, but now on the battle with Lukomski, managing to get ahead. The door has been opened between the McLaren and the Ferrari. The Ferrari backs out of it once again, doesn't commit to the overtake, has to lose out position to the McLaren. He had the open door but left it. Top here now, looking to make it side by sides, under attack by Nelson Alves. Alves looking to get past. Can he get the move done and potentially push his way through and attack the Ferrari as the Red Bull are top here now, looking to the inside line of the Ferrari, doesn't get past. Very close between these drivers here. There's a midfield battle going on. Very, very hard racing.
Very hard racing indeed, right on the edge stuff between all of these drivers, all gunning to try and make some overtakes as we once again get on the anchors. Who's going to be dishing out the overtakes this time around? It seems like Ricardo Benzoni wants to be doing that on Brad Holden, but has nowhere to go through this part of that, which would usually be single file, but these drivers are managing to find a way to go wheel to wheel, and it's getting very close between them. Over the line, we're about to go once again, and surely some more battling. We've got the top four trying to pull a bit of a gap, and Harvey Cohen looking in his mirror. So we're going to get another change. This time it's going to be Kian Godendorp making his way through. At the same time, Julian Klaffenbach backing out of it. So it's Kian Godendorp who takes the lead. Then it's Joris, and then it's going to be Klaffenbach and Rishon Jacobs trying to take P3, but he is still stuck behind Harvey Cohen, just about holding on to 5th position ahead of Daniel. And then we have Lukumski trying to also find a way through. So phenomenal battling inside this top 10. Nelson Alves on the mediums definitely will be looking to try go on the attack, as Nelson Alves goes round the outside, or at least attempts to, on Lukumski.
Well, Lukumski there forced to defend once again, as he's had to do so many times before in this race. It's only lap 14, and the amount of battles you've seen so far can only blow your mind away. But now we are pushing on. There's a battle going out between the top four, a battle between P8 and P7. It's all going down here in Barcelona, but Kian will not benefit from the DRS as he comes round. Turn 12, putting the power down between the final 3 corners now. The long pit straight, the longest DRS zone available on the circuit, could potentially open the door for the Alpina Joris to come and fight back.
So here we go once again. The slipstream is going to take place once again down towards that first corner. Is Joris going to pull out for the move, looking further back as well? So Joris still tucking in, but looking further back. Is anyone feeling brave down to the breakings? And it seems like everyone has calmed down from the absolutely outrageous battling that we were getting earlier on in this race. But Rishon Jacobs still has been threatening to make the move for the final spot on the podium for so long, and he's still trying to do it. Nelson now still trying to find a way through and use the advantage on the medium tires while they're stuck behind Lukumski, and all of them very close, tenths behind each other. And let's see who's going to be able to keep their tires all the way till the end of the race, keep them in good condition and able to push. Also, it's going to be critical with the ERS. A lot has been used, but in a DRS train it can be a little bit more easier over some of it. So let's see if you're going to see any differences when we get to the end of the race when it comes to the ERS management. But it can be a little bit hard when all the drivers are battling so hard in this race, and also trying to charge some of that battle.
Absolutely correct. The battery's a vital tool in terms of attacking and in terms of defence. You need to keep it charged just in case you need it. When the door opens for you, it's your aid to get you through. Or if there's somebody hot on your tail, it's your defensive mechanism. But what we just missed was the Ferrari getting mighty spicy with Harvey Cowen. Harvey Cowen taking to the off-road there, just managing to keep it back on the track, and has the Ferrari hot on his tail. Daniel Kelsden is really trying to push past that Red Bull, could potentially open the door for the McLaren. The McLaren looking now under attack. Lukumski is under attack from Nelson Alves and the Red Bull. Needs to really defend his position. Nelson Alves is looking to get past now the side-by-side coming on the exit of turn 6 as he power down towards turn 7. Does get ahead. It's a beautiful move done from the Williams driver. Now needs to try and focus and push on for Daniel in the Ferrari. Harvey Cowen, the Red Bull, still needing to defend that position. The gap has opened up a little bit. The Ferrari now could be under attack.
Move completed for Bradwell. He's able to get past Tope. But just looking at the tires so far for the drivers, we've got everyone on the hards, mostly inside the top 10. Hold'em and Nelson Alves. Harvey Cohen outside, Ricardo Benzoni just outside the top 10 in 11th. He's also on those mediums. And then we've got Gregory, who's the final driver on the medium compound tires, as we continue the battling once again. And we see some brilliant battles, and straight into the wall, I believe, was Julian Klaffenbach.
Safety car, safety car, safety car. Once again, lap 17, you see the second safety car of the race. We see Julian Klaffenbach flying into the wall. Oh, gets himself sent to the back of the field. That's so unfortunate for him. Ended up getting himself into a bit of a rough and tough. But he's still in the race, and it is safety car, so he can just box, change that wing, and get himself back into the race.
Yep, so crucially he is still running in this one. I wasn't fully able to catch that. I just saw a Haas flying straight into the barrier on my side as well. So that will be unfortunate for him. But luckily, critically, he's still in this one. So if it does go crazy like we saw earlier on, he'll definitely be in the mix and trying to find his way through. So a safety car for, but it would definitely be the front wing. Of course, that has been lost out on the circuit because he is still running. So that's why we have got the safety car out on the circuit. But the game, of course, telling us all throughout this one that we had the safety car all the way through. But if hopefully also safety car comes in, we do have it is.
Hopefully we do see the safety car come in and the graphic disappear. Now that we've had another safety car, we can only hope for that, but I've seen this bug before. It's a spectating thing that has occurred a couple of times to me while I've been spectating racing. It just doesn't seem to disappear. The game has got a couple of issues, but as we know, EA are currently working their way through it. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to see the spicy racing of F2, PSGL PC F2, as Julian now gets himself into the pits. Didn't get held back too much by his teammate and pulls out that new wing. Joris, Kian, Daniel, Andre and Valentino have all stayed on those tyres. They could potentially expect another safety car. It's interesting to see the strategy.
Indeed. So interesting to see the stat as well and how that is going to play out throughout this race. We'll continue to do so all the way till the end with defending the hard drivers. The drivers on the hard component tires inside the top 5 are all trying to defend. Well, we're going to have a lot on the mediums, all and attack. So it's going to be a fast end to this here at Spain. Another safety car, who knows? That's how crazy this race has to happen. They do definitely between these drivers trying to defend and attack at the same time. With how close the margins are, if you're trying to make an overtake, you're going to have other drivers for comp too. So it does mean that it does get very feisty and hard to something on the circuit, and it can lead to moments of brinkmanship and contact as well, like we've seen already in this race. And hopefully it will be our final one as well. Hopefully we'll have grandstand finish, a race all the way till the checkered flag to decide who's gonna has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Is that going to be him retiring? Is he continuing? It seems like he might just be continuing still in this one, and that might have been a little mistake from him while coming into the pit lane. So he'll go from 19th and also with a 10-second penalty, unfortunately, as well.
Absolutely, just got a bit too much speed there going into the pits and ended up getting himself a slap with that 10-second penalty. Will come out now on the fresh hard compound tyre. Could potentially go to the end of the race on that tyre. So it is only 14 laps to go on those hard compound tyres. We see a lot of drivers have opted for the mediums, a safety car making them go that 1 lap slower, so they can certainly preserve the vital rubber that they will need towards the end of this stint. We see the front 5 didn't box. They've stayed out on those hard tyres. They're going for a risky procedure, potentially pushing to a point where they can maybe slap on a set of softs. It's anybody's game, it's anybody's guess now for the strategy for the front 5. But Rashan Jacobs, if he can just get the restart that he hopes for, and his tyres are nice and toasty, nice and warmed up, and he can get himself potentially attacking straight out of the door, straight on the restart, and make some moves into the opening corners.
Safety cars coming in at the end of this lap. Joris is going to be leading us with Kian Valentino Lebel up the top 5, all right now going to be defending, and let's keep an eye for Roshan Jacobs in the V-carb, and then also follow the attacking down towards the first corner. Feisty once again.
Absolutely, we just need to try and maintain the push, maintain the drive now, as we're on board with Rashan Jacobs, the driver who is looking to potentially make the most moves out here now on the restart, but he's lurking behind. He wasn't caught out too much. He is only a tenth behind Valentino Labella, the Mercedes driver, but it is Andre who's looking to make himself large into the Ferrari's mirrors there, the podium systems. Those drivers haven't boxed yet. Rashan Jacobs right on the tail of the V-cab Andre Mauna, but can he get it? He's sweeping to the inside line. He has got the traction. He will have the grip. Can he try and get it done? As he does, but Andre dropped another position. He's up into P4 there. That's a double move for Rashan Jacobs. So P4
Oh,
standing
we've got
for the
more
lead
debris
now.
flying all over the road. Yeah,
More
absolute
debris.
chaos here. Debris flying absolutely everywhere on the circuit.
Oh, damage left, right, and centre. People potentially needing to box. Drivers needing to box for new wings. We see currently on board with Harvey Cowan, who's in himself a battle with the Mercedes. Brad Holdham. Brad Holdham looking to optimise his restart. He's up into P9 now, battling away for P8 with Harvey Cowan. Can he maintain the line? It's side by side as we got through 12. We're in 13, still side by side. As descending side by side again. Round the final corner, the DRS is now enabled, so this is where it matters. Have you maintained your tyres close enough? You have the battery to try and defend what could potentially be going wrong here. Oh, the Red Bull with a bit of a sender, top air, managing to get ahead of Nelson. Alves just managing to maintain the overspeed and got it through into turn 1. P10 is done for top air in the Red Bull. Rashan Jacobs up into P2, getting the move done on Kian.
This is phenomenal stuff from Roshan Jacobs. He's been making quick passes and quick moves. The next medium runner on the same strategy as him is Lukumski, and he still has 3 more cars to pass to get up to Roshan Jacobs, who is surely going to make light work of the Alpine as he'll get on the power. Should be an easy move down towards the braking zone of turn 10. Will he be able to find it? Nope, so he'll still be stuck behind, but it should be an easy pass coming his way very shortly with the grip that he is going to have. It's very close in the background as well between the 2 Red Bulls, and also enter Brad Holdham, who tries to make a move of his own, trying to go all the way around the outside. It'll turn into a traction race, and once again we're going to get Mercedes versus Red Bull. Labella all out of shape, gave an opportunity to Harvey Cohen, but Brad Holdham finds a way through in the second Mercedes in the field as we make our way over the line. Now we're going to get a battle for the lead, and Roshan Jacobs is going through.
Rashan Jacobs is going through, but Kian Gordon Dorp with the overspeed, managing to get past the Alpine of Joris, taking P2 away. He is one of the drivers who has yet to box. Rashan Jacobs making most of those mediums has now jumped ahead. He will have the tyre life, he will have that extra wear to burn away, and he is on the better compounder tyre. Those hard tyres for Kian, Joris and Daniel have been used and burned away over the last 13-14 laps. So it's all for Rashan Jacobs now to try and gap these hard runners. These tyres must be screaming at this point. They can't maintain the push that Rashan Jacobs is given. He's almost broke the DRS as he gets around turns 9. Heading down into turn 10, slams on the brakes and sends it through. Can he get it? He does. He breaks the 1 second. Rashan Jacobs no longer under DRS threat as it opens up to 1.2 seconds.
Jacobs able to stretch clear while Lukumski, that's what he's gonna Lukumski's gonna try and overtake the other drivers, and then you'll have a bit of a gap to try and close in on Roshan Jacobs. Down towards turn number 1 we go. Are we going to be getting a battle for second place? We are, with Kian Godendorf going defensive, and it's not going to do anything though, because Joris is able to find a way through, and he's not the only one in the Ferrari. We've got Daniel also making his way through as well, and that's super close to contact as Lukumski is pushing them right now through the corner. Nelson House has retired in the pit lane, however, but Lukumski wanting to get on with this one, but he is stuck with the hard drivers battling amongst themselves.
Absolutely correct, and there goes that safety car graphic when we get a yellow flags. We had yellow flags for the retirement in the pits, but Nelson Alvarez is done with this race as he retires and takes a seat back and leaves the session. He's had enough of this one, feels like he can't have too much of an effect in this race. Rashan Jacobs, 1.5 seconds clear. This medium box strategy working perfectly. These other drivers who didn't box have made a stinker of their strategies as Lukomski now gets through on Kian Gordendorf. It's P4 for the McLaren driver. Sets his eyes, sets his sights and locks in to chase down Daniel the Ferrari for P3. It is a potential podium, a P2 finish for the McLaren. If he can maintain the push as he sends it now to the inside line on the Ferrari, looking to take P3 away. It's easy pickings with the DRS. He must have drained the battery on that one as he had the overspeed and managed to get through. It's now just him and the Alpine between P2.
Indeed, so he will try and get the move done. He'll probably want to do it at some point in the second and third sector, being stuck behind all the way till the end of the lap, and making the move into turn 1 is definitely going to be quite a lot of tenths lost for him as well. Harvey Cohen, that is super tight into the braking zone as well, nearly losing the car. Brad Hull. do on Andrea Molnar, of course, who is fading down the order on the hard compound of tires, and we've got more drivers waiting to have their opportunity. Tope will be the next taker when he'll be able to get through, and he'll look down the outside line and he'll use the grip into the braking zone, deeper on the brakes, and then when it turns into the Red Bull drive move, and you'll get the inside line, so he is gonna find a way through, and let's see whether Liam Stevens can also try to do that. But Lukumski wasn't able to get the move done at all in that middle part of the lap, so it is going to need to be down to turn about DRS and plenty of ERS. It won't even be a contest down to that first corner.
Yeah, easy pickings for the McLaren driver to take P2 away. He now needs to set his sights on Rashan Jacobs, the V-Carb, who could potentially snatch victory away with the strategy. He's brought the DRS 1.7 seconds away. We have another retirement in the pits. Valentino Labella in the Mercedes has had enough of this one and has retired one side of this painful Spanish GP, as we've got 8 laps to go. Only 8 laps remaining of this race for these drivers to see if they can pull anything out of the bag. Can Lukomski respond to Rishan Jacobs in the V-Carb? The V-Carb managing to fight his way through those front 5, who have yet to box again for some fresh rubber, unlike Rishan and Lukomski. It's now all down the field. We see battling between Felipe Souza on the timing board. He's battling out with McLaren. Leo Lund looking to try and get past. Leo Lund does get past. Andre Molnar, he's having a bit of an issue there. He's not being able to get the traction down. He's losing positions all the way down into P13. He qualified well, but he's just falling down the order. It's an absolute stinker for the V-Carbs. The V-Carbs look strong at the start of the race, and now barely running inside the points.
Indeed, once again, battle on the brakes down to that first corner. Kian Godendorp was hoping for an overtake. Instead, he might be the one who gets in, because trying to go all the way around. And the outside is Liam Stevens, and Tyker Hardy finding the slightest of gaps on the inside line, going on the grass momentarily. Liam Stevens goes through, so does Tyker Hardy to the inside, and he'll find a way through on Godendorp, but that was so close to a race-ending incident for Tycho Hardy. Felipe Souza, the F4 champion from last season, is also trying to find a way through, and he moves up to 10th place.
Beautiful racing there as we see them getting very, very close. Tycho Hardy really looking for any gap, almost getting pushed onto the grass, but it's the fine margins that make it work. Any gap is a gap for a racing driver. They're really pushing it to the limits, and if they see an open door, they will take it, no matter how big, no matter how small. The Tycho Hardy now looking to push on and try and catch Liam Stevens. The V-Carbs teammate Rishan Jacobs looking to potentially steal another victory. Could it be 2 in a row for Rishan Jacobs? He won in Austria. Can he win in Spain? He's looking good, as he's still got a 1.8 second gap, as we see a change in in P2 in the podium positions. Joris getting past Lukomski. Looks like those hard tyres still have a lot to give.
Indeed, those hard tyres still pushing on and pushing their way past the medium runner as well of Lukumski. So, Brad Holden pushing Daniel all the way through, and it's a Mercedes versus the Ferrari, and Brad Holden will be desperate to have a good result this time around after finishing fast on the road and being demoted down to 10th due to a 5-second penalty for crossing the white line, and that cost him a victory, which he took at the last corner on the last lap. And now he is trying to find a way through on lap number 27 in that middle part of the lap. He's trying to find a way through on Daniel, who is leaving the inside or the outside open for the Mercedes driver, who will definitely need to be brave and bold to try and make this move, especially because he won't, unless he uses DRS, he won't have too much of an advantage down the start-finish straight, because the car ahead of him, Daniel, will also get that DRS. So in the DRS train, and let's see whether Lukumski now can retake second position in this one out of the final corner. Once again, should be an easy pass for him, and he'll move up to second position. Keep an eye though also on Daniel, who will have so much speed down to that first corner. No DRS for Joris, and it's going to mean that it'll be a battle on the brakes down to the first corner, but Joris is going to hold on to it, and Daniel not able to get through, but Brad Holden, Daniel's exit was compromised. Brad Holden now tries to find a way through down towards the braking zone of turn number 4.
Of course, the Ferrari forced to go defensive there as Brad Holden's looking for potential switch back there. Does he get it? As he does send it side by side and does manage to get ahead. Managing to pull off a switchback there on the exit of turn 3. Firing down into turn 4. It was beautiful beautiful racing there. The Mercedes driver just getting through, just pushing himself ahead, which is what he needed to do. He is on the better, fresher tyre than the Ferrari driver. These hard runners that refuse to box still have a lot of pace in those tyres. It's quite interesting to see. We'll pull up the tyre graphics so everybody can see the pace difference, the tyre difference. You have Joris 21 laps, you have Daniel 21 laps on those hard tyres, yet they are still a very, very positive threat to the podium positions.
Indeed, podium positions for now could be first was down to 1.3 seconds as we make our way down towards the first corner. Once again, it's gonna be the battle between way through all the way around the outside. He's going to be run out of road and he will need to rejoin, holding onto the car as he does so, and that's going to open the door for his teammate. Tope now goes to the teammate, trying to get past the two Red Bulls, going wheel to wheel, and at the same time Tope has a look at Daniel. He backs out of it, and Harvey Cohen all the while trying to find a way through around the outside, and they're both getting closer to the Ferrari. Still trying to go all the way around the outside is going to be Tope, and when it turns into it, it's going to be level, but I think Harvey Cohen is going to back out of it, does back out of it, not wanting to risk contact with his Red Bull teammate through there, and it's Tope who finally takes P6.
Oh, even though the teammates are not holding anything out in this race, they are going side by side, mono in mono, trying to race and be the best of each other, as Liam Stevens now looking to make a move on Tycho Hardy. Tycho Hardy currently leading the Drivers' Championship. He's not scoring too good of points this race. Could potentially opening the door for Rishan Jacobs to get himself smashed up there in the driver's standings as he wins last week in Austria. As I've said before, it'll be 2 on the bounce for Rishan Jacobs. He's managed to open that gap once again, but we see the Brad Holdham now, Joris and Lukomski all battling it out for P2 as Brad Holdham now jumps ahead in the Mercedes, takes that P2 position away. He's been fairly strong in these final closing laps. Only 3 laps remain and Brad Holdham is in P2, looking to push on now and catch Rishan Jacobs and potentially take victory away, dropping that gap down to 1.2 seconds.
Indeed, looking for it to the inside is Salsa, but looking all the way around the outside is Leo Lund in the McLaren, and he's going to try and get the position. This is right now for 10th, and it's close to contact, and Felipe Salza was trying to move on Harvey Cohen for 9th. Instead, he falls down to 11th position, not what the Brazilian driver wanted, and Leo Lund is able to get through. 1.1 second. Can Brad Holdham now get into that 1 second? It would be critical. It is going to be a battle, it seems like, at the front with many drivers involved, but the top 2 debating it are going to be Brad Holdham, who finished first on the road last time out at Austria, but it was the man who inherited that win, who's right now first on the road, trying to do back-to-back wins at attention, but they're going not all out to contend with Joris has moved through, and also Lukumski going to the inside of Brad Holdham, and Brad Holdham goes from 2nd to 4th as through goes Joris and Lukumski.
Yeah, drops 2 positions there going into turn 1. I suspect he was harvesting the RS there, didn't have the battery turned on to lose all that speed down the back straight. He didn't have the DRS, but he lost 2 positions. Lukomski getting the overspeed in the McLaren and managing to make the move. So Brad Holdham now needs to push on. There's only 2 laps remaining in this race. Can he snatch the podiums back away? He was looking for a P2 finish, but all this has done has allowed people to catch up to Rishan Jacobs. The DRS gap has been broken. Joris is within DRS and within striking distance now of Rishan Jacobs. The V-carb could potentially be under attack very soon from Joris. Joris making those hard tyres last a very long time, still being able to push them to the limit and catch up to the front runner on the medium pressure tyre.
Yep, this has been a push all the way through. Even after the safety car phase, he was able to stay in contention. Only Rishan Jacobs was realistically able to get through. Lukumski also got through, but he was able to retake the position. And now they find themselves dueling for first position. Gaining with every meter down to that first corner is Joris, who this time isn't close enough for the move, but next time definitely could be the case. Joris also has more ERS as well, so that could play critical when it comes to that last lap battle. Lukumski also with some decent ERS, and they're all going to be hoping that they're going to be in contention. Now, this is where we're on the penultimate tour of the race. Next time around, he's going to need to make this move. If he doesn't, then that'll be his realistic chance gone of taking this win at turn number 1, and then you'll need to try come up with something throughout the rest of the lap. But he's definitely got to try his absolute best to get through at turn number 1.
Absolutely correct. When you're on that long DRS straight, you're just getting all the overspeed. It is the longest DRS zone on the circuit. You higher chance of overtaking going down into turn 1. But of course, if Rashan Jacobs has the full battery, he could just dump it all and try and defend. But if Joris must be trying to charge that battery up and reserve that battery to attack with the DRS. DRS and ERS is a mighty combo in the 24 cars, as we know. Come around the turn 14 for the second to last time, as we know. Get that rear wing open as Joris pushing on, swings it to the outside line, and he's looking to get the move done. But this opens the door for Lukomsky. Lukomsky also gets through, having the overspeed on Rashan Jacobs, taking P2. Rashan Jacobs pushed all the way down into P3. Joris leading. Lukomsky P2, Rashan Jacobs P3. Can Rashan Jacobs respond in any way? He will have the DRS in DRS zone 2, but I don't think it's going to be enough to fight back lead of the race. He's going to have to drain that battery and push everything he's got now. As he does send it side by side, looks to the inside line of Lukomsky. The McLaren had a bit of a lock up there coming through turns 5, 6 and 7 as we get through turns 7 and 8 now. It looks like Joris, the Alpine, the man who has made his tyre strategy work to perfection, stretched those hard tyres out for as long as possible. He's looking like he could take race victory here as we're coming around turn 10, the double left, turn 11. He's to swing it around to the right hand side. Turn 12, only 2 corners remain. Brad Hold'em trying to get ahead and take P3, looking to battle it out with Rashan Jacobs. Rashan Jacobs on the outside, but Brad will stay ahead. It is Joris, Lukomsky and Brad to finish in the podium finishers. Rashan Jacobs pushed down into P4, lost it all in the final laps. He was almost 2 seconds clear and completely lost it all in the closing laps. Heartbreak for VCARB, victory for Alpine.
Phenomenal stuff all the way till the end. Disappointment for Jacobs. It seemed like in the prime position after he made all the overtakes, left everyone, but they all clawed back in the to take it. And a position that seemed like it would have been the win ends up in 4th, and you can see close margins with Daniel and Tope behind as well. So that was super close between 4th and 5th, and then of course 3rd as well. They had an amazing battle all the way through the last sector, but well done to Joris, making a strategy what most people wouldn't have expected at the time to work, making it work, and he ends up as our winner.
Was fantastic strategy there, and might I say, it was absolutely perfect tyre management. The amount of laps he managed to stretch those hards out to must have been at least 27, around that area, 20, maybe 26 laps on those hards, really stretching them out and maintaining that tyre life. It was beautiful to see, beautiful driving, and what a drive to take victory here in Spain.
Phenomenal drive and the deserved winner after all of that work throughout as well. A great race coming our way once again after a brilliant Austria. Spain definitely did deliver. Cannot wait for the next few ones, but this season, as we would have predicted coming into it, is fantastic. You cannot predict.
Absolutely correct. Joris P1, Lukomsky P2, Brad Holden P3, Rashan Jacobs P4, Daniel Clouston in P5, Tope P6, Liam Stevens P7, Leo Lund in P8, P9 for Felipe Souza, and P10 for Kian Gordon Dorp. So this certainly is going to shake things up in the standings. Drivers not finishing as high in the points as they wanted to be, especially in terms of championship potential. But it is looking mighty fine and mighty spicy for what is to come so far. So I'll quickly move us over to the interview room. As we are now moved in and we are waiting for the drivers to see if anybody would like an interview for the race that they've just had. It was a mighty fine race to see. A lot of action, a lot of spicy action. A lot of overtakes, battling it out. There was a nice little switchback from the Mercedes driver of Brad Hold'em. Beautiful switchback in the earlier second stint. But yeah, lovely racing.
Lovely racing. Will be good if we can get with one of our drivers in this one. We'll see if anyone does come by as you mentioned. But yeah, lovely racing season as PSGL F2 continues to deliver. Great to, of course, see them in their different, in their respective, of course, cars now with the official F1 cars from the 2024 season. Definitely made our life a bit more easier to call what was a brilliant race and hard to call at times when they were going three wide and there were so many battles going on. At that time, of course, we head over to Hungary, so I'm hoping that's also a good race coming our way soon.
Absolutely. I'm going to switch us back to the camera chat. I don't think anybody's coming for an interview. I'm not seeing anybody pop up. But I can also pull up the
Don't think we
calendar.
have anyone.
The camera screen, as you can see us lurking before you. It's been a mighty fine race here in Barcelona. It's been lovely to see. We'll take a quick look at the calendar. So we had our break last week and it was a nice relaxing break indeed, as allowed these drivers to recharge their batteries and get themselves ready for what was a mighty spine race that you've just seen before you. Hungary, round 5 is the next track we go to before we head on to Suzuka, Jeddah, Suzuka in Japan, and then on to Saudi Arabia and Jeddah. So far the calendar is looking mighty promising, but it's been a very fine race today, and some surprising winners, especially some surprising strategies. But it's been lovely to watch. But yeah, thank you for that. Just anything you want to say on that, Omi?
And Spain definitely did deliver. Next up, Hungary up championship battle continuing to so is the action on the for Hungary. Make sure you join out to find out in the next chapter of PSGL F2.
Yeah, so he got a bit stuttery there at the end. I don't know why he's been doing that all race. For some reason, he keeps cutting in and out with Omi's voice. So potential issue for me, but it's been a nice race to see, and we shall see you next week. Be sure to just tune in on Monday for the PlayStation tiers that are yet to come. But for the PC side, we are done for this week, and we shall see you in a week's time.